Welcome back to Play by Play. I'm Michael Gaines here with Andre Monroe, and we have a special segment today. We're being joined by two Penn State student athletes, Liv Jack and Zoe Weatherington. We're going to talk about sports, life at Penn State, and NIL. So that being said, let's get into it.
So my first question for you guys, just how did you get started in your respective sports?
My story is kind of different. My mom, when she was pregnant with me, she would swim in the beaches in Barbados because that's where she lived. And after I was born, she kind of just threw me into the waves in the ocean and
She threw you?
yeah, basically just told me to fend for myself,
Okay.
would just sit there and let the water hit me and had me learn how to sit up in the sand by myself. I didn't actually take any swim lessons, but I started doing swim clinics, just learning the 4 strokes when I was 6, and then I started swimming competitively when I was 7.
What about you, Zoe?
My mom's a volleyball coach, so I was kind of, in the ball carts when, she had me because she took me to practice with her always. But I started playing on a team when I was about 8, and yeah, the rest is history.
So just going back to Penn State, Liv, let's start with you. Why did you pick Penn State?
I chose Penn State mostly because of the honors college. I wanted to be challenged in the classroom, but I also picked it because I knew that Penn State would challenge me in the pool too, and they offered a great experience for me academically, athletically, and monetarily, honestly.
Right.
And I knew that I would grow as a person here.
Okay.
I transferred here, so I was looking for a new environment. My old school was, not where I wanted to be, and Penn State was where I wanted to be. The volleyball program was very high level and highly ranked, still is. And I just wanted to be a part of the legacy that they have going on for Penn State volleyball, and love it so far. And then, of course, Penn State is a great school, so it came in the package.
Right. So we got a two-parted question. What is it like to be a student athlete at Penn State? And then on the other side of that, what is it like to be a black student athlete at Penn State?
Being a student athlete, I think it's different for me at least compared to football and basketball players. But I do know when I'm wearing athletic attire, I get treated differently than I do when I'm not. I feel like there's kind of a celebrity aspect to being an athlete here that I don't always feel like I fit into, but that's just, I think, what comes with being a Penn State athlete. And then being a black student athlete, obviously it's a PWI, so there's always that as an athlete and as a person. But also I was the only black swimmer on my team for 4 years, so that was always a challenge, just making sure that I felt comfortable culturally.
Shout out to Liv. Also, she is the founder and the president of the Penn State Black Student Athletes. Yes,
Ma'am.
go ahead, Zoe.
What was the first question?
What is it like to be a student athlete at Penn State? And what is it like to be a black student athlete at Penn State?
Okay, being a student athlete, I would say there's heightened visibility. We all have our puffies and our jackets, so everybody kind of knows who you are when you have, the backpack and all the kind of pretentious gear. But definitely everybody has their eye on you, I would say. But being a black student athlete, especially playing volleyball, which is also a white-dominated sport and always has been, and probably will be for a good while, unfortunately. But I think there's even more visibility. When I'm on the court, there's not as many people who look like me. For most of my life, I've been the only black girl on my team, which has, been great because I've been welcomed by my teammates always. But you never feel like you really fit the mold. But I would say the environment that I'm in now, I feel a lot better knowing that my teammates have my back and stuff like that.
Right.
So our conversation today is centered around NIL. For those who don't know, NIL is just basically a term that describes how student athletes can earn financial compensation for their name, image, and likeness. So for Liv and Zoe, for you guys, just what have you seen from not only your personal experience with NIL, but student athletes at other teams or programs with Penn State or other teams across the country?
I think NIL is great, but I do feel like there are some little discrepancies in how it's carried out. I would say I love that it's there for me, but I know that it's extra work, and being a student athlete is a lot of work already. I'm grateful for it, but I just know that it's been hard to get the same deals as other athletes, if that makes sense.
Right. Be more specific, like.
I mean, obviously, the football players are going to
Yeah.
get the most. Basketball players are going to get more because they're really high revenue generating sports. But volleyball, it's very niche. I feel like people who are interested in volleyball will want to provide deals for volleyball. But who's interested in volleyball in this country is like not as many people as
Football, basketball.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty similar for swimming, honestly. A lot of swimmers get deals related to swimming products or brands that like are tailored more towards swimmers. And also, I feel like NIL is more of a popularity contest in terms of like what kinds of deals you get and how much money you get from those deals. And for the most part, that popularity is won with like the money-making sports like football and basketball. So it just kind of depends on like what kind of personality you have and if it fits into that kind of mold and not necessarily like what you're interested in always. It's more of like a popularity-based money-making.
So we're going to move away from NIL now. We're going to ask you, it's a Women's History Month, and I just like to know, who are your women athlete idols or role models? Who are the women that you guys look up to in sports?
Mine's my mom first, obviously, because she played volleyball. I used to wear the same number as her for that reason. And also my aunt / godmother, Kimberly Oden. She was on the Olympic national team and won multiple medals. And I always kind of wanted to be like her, you know. You don't see that many tall black women like really navigating the world the way that they do. And I'm just grateful to have had them in my life because they've influenced me very heavily on how to work hard and be a black woman in the sport and just how to live my life in general.
I would say Simone Manuel, mostly because she's a black swimmer in my sport and she swims similar events to me. She's just been inspiring because, especially wearing her natural hair in swimming, has been inspiring not only to me but other younger black swimmers and especially black women in swimming because it's really difficult to take care of your natural hair while swimming. And I'd also say Allison Felix, just because she carries herself with such grace in her sport and outside of the sport, and she emphasizes the importance of taking care of yourself as a black woman.
So for Black History Month, Penn State Athletics put out a video. Each of you guys highlighted a black role model in your guys' lives. So starting with Michael, who did you choose and why?
Yeah, I thought the project was awesome. I got to choose my dad as my black role model. Basically got to talk about how much he's encouraged my dreams and how much he's helped me get to this point and been like a best friend to me, my first ever friend.
Right.
So I love that project. And I got to see your guys too. I thought they were beautiful as well.
Thank you. I chose my parents too, just because I'm only child one, but I'm thick as thieves with them. You know, we are, you know, the three, inseparable. So I chose them because they just served as a big guide for me for my blackness and how to grow in that and, you know, never to feel like a victim and to just persevere.
I actually didn't choose my parents. I chose Keith and Kevin, who have both been really big role models to me.
Can you talk about who are Keith and
Yeah,
Kevin?
sorry. Keith Embray used to work at Penn State. He worked in student welfare and development within athletics. And Kevin Warren is the former commissioner for the Big Ten Conference. And I've had the opportunity of having a lot of conversations with the two of them. And they've both been big role models to me and reminding me to own my space and not to set myself on fire, to keep others warm and basically take care of myself while also trying to work for the black community and use my voice.
That's awesome. That's beautiful, Liv. So just to wrap up, we're going to do a quick little this or that, just a little bit of fun. Our first one is New York City or LA?
New
Brooklyn.
York City.
Like,
Brooklyn?
yeah,
okay.
Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to give like a why?
No,
a personal connection?
I'm just from New York, so
Okay.
like.
I'm going to say
yeah.
LA, but we can move on to the next one.
Oh. See.
Okay.
My bad, my bad, my
You want
bad,
the
my
next
bad.
one?
We go to
You
the
want
next one. I'm going to just pull one out. State patties or blue and white game?
I've never been to either.
Yeah.
So he's
Sorry.
new.
I actually haven't been to
Schedule's
state
bad.
parties either, all
Oh,
5
wow.
years
All right,
here.
well, I'm going to say
Oh,
blue and
wow.
white because state
Yeah.
patty's kind of overrated
Blue and white's
to me.
coming up.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
good
blue
one.
and white.
Also,
with
it's
the
warmer,
color.
so I feel like that's the better answer.
Rec Hall or McCoy?
Rec Hall.
Ooh.
Honestly, McCoy. Now that I learned that neither of them have windows, I'm gonna say McCoy.
Yeah, Rec Hall's
Historic Rec
Rec Hall's
Hall.
kind of dusty too.
But we love it. Come on now.
Road trip or home game?
Road trip.
Home game.
Really? You
Yeah.
like being on the road, on the bus, or the
Yeah,
plane?
because it puts me in like a different mindset.
Interesting.
Mm.
I definitely a home game kind of
Yeah,
person.
agreed.
Champs or the Den?
Neither. The Den let out.
All right, that's fair.
I
Zoe?
guess I'll say the Den for the culture.
We'll do this last one. Plane ride or bus trip?
Plane ride.
Plane
You have to think
ride.
about it?
Yeah, because I like driving.
Okay.
So.
But on the bus?
On the bus is crazy though.
I feel like driving
Yeah.
is
I,
one
like
thing.
I just
but
stare out the window. That sounds crazy.
Can you sleep on the bus?
You can stare out
Yeah.
the window of a plane?
I can't sleep on the bus. I can't. I'm not like. I'm too long to like stretch myself out on like the two seats.
Agreed.
You get. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I'll
my
just
back.
I put my legs up on the window and sleep like this.
I can't do all that. That is all for Play by Play. Special thank you to Liv and Zoe for joining us. For Culture Central, I'm Michael Gaines.